Kelsey, I want to ask you this. So, you know, the old Washington Redskins, they changed their team to the Washington football team. And you living in, and you being in Maryland, tell me, how does those fans out there in Maryland like handle the situation that Dan Snyder decided to change the team to Washington football team?
You know, it's been a crazy time in the DMV, to say the least. Like, one, we're DC, so we have the crazy political scene going on here, and then and that's crazy. DC is such a unique place right now because fans are still excited. You see what the Nats have done, the Mystics have done. You know, it's been a fun. The Caps, like, we've been winning championships. You know, the city of champions. But then you go to, we're a football city. People love the Washington football team. And then I think the old Washington Redskins name, it was 50-50 for people here. Being a football town, everybody has some type of Washington football gear in their house, right? It just is what it is. And so many people had attached onto that name. Think about it, 100 years, like 1932. Think about how long that name has been a part of tradition here. I mean, we just lost Chief Z, who was an African-American male who'd be at every football game dressed up in headgear, and everybody would go to Chief Z, take pictures with Chief Z. It was like the thing to do. So I think half the people here are like, wait, we have never used, half the media here had never used that name because it was an offensive term, right? There's other people saying it's always been offensive. They've never used the name. And the other half are saying, what do you mean? This is our heritage. This is what we want. And I kind of tie it to the Confederate flag thing where people didn't want to let it go. They didn't want to let it go. And if you see now, if you go on their social media, some people refuse to not call them the Washington Redskins anymore. But at the same time, I think now, since time has gone on, people are starting to embrace it more. I know the big thing, people just want to keep the hashtag HT. Trying to figure out what name is going to be the name, but it's been an interesting time in DC, to say the least. I think people are having good.
Okay, Kelsey. So,
had to fix
real quick, I wanted to ask you, in the city of Baltimore and just overall in Washington D.C. as well, because I got a sister. My sister lives in Washington D.C. She lives literally right across from the Washington football team stadium. Are there more Ravens fans or Washington football fans?
Oh, for sure, Washington football fans. Like, Washington is, like, I think number 3 in how big the franchise is. They're another under Dallas. Them changing the name was so huge because they're such a valuable franchise. Like, people here live and breathe by the football team, no matter how good or bad they are. It just is what it is. And so Baltimore, even though they're the better team right now, they have less fans. It's a smaller pocket. You know, the Orioles, same thing. So definitely way more Washington fans throughout the area.
Okay, I got one more question for Clarence before we switch to basketball. Kelsey, who is the greatest Baltimore Raven in NFL history?
I told you, I shared my answer. I don't care what anybody says. Like, Ed Reed is my all-time favorite player.
No, okay. Now, I know you said that's your favorite, but is he the best in Raven history? You say yes?
Best, because I think what he did for the safety position, I mean, if you are a good safety, you probably are trying to take something from his game, and what he did, I mean, quarterbacks, Peyton Manning would say it, like, when you saw Ed Reed, you were afraid to throw. It changed. Yes. And so I know most people will probably say Ray Lewis, and we know what he did for the middle linebacker position, but Ed Reed was just something special. He was a ball hawk. I mean, he literally was a ball hawk. He could have played offense if he wanted to. He was just that good.
Yes, I agree with you.
So, Kelsey, I got a question real quick. So I was watching The Herd from Colin Cowherd, and he had a prediction that the Baltimore Ravens is going to go 16-0, and they got the weakest road schedule in the NFL. So tell me, do you honestly believe the Ravens going to even come close to like 16-0? I'll take 15-1, 14-2, 13-3. Like, do you believe this type of fanatic he just said?
Look, I believe in the team. They can do it if they want, but I'm gonna say at least 15-1 because I think that Chiefs game is going to. Because if you remember, the Ravens beat them last year. Pat Mahomes has a vengeance, but the Ravens want to prove again that they are the best teams. I think that game is one you have to look at, and then of course that revenge game against that team down in Tennessee. But I think 15-1. But you know what? They can do it. I mean, they have a good team on both sides of the ball. Like, it's as long as it's injury free, as long as Lamar is good, it could happen.
All right, Kelsey, let's switch gears for some NBA. As the NBA restart has taken place in Orlando, How do you feel about the gameplay so far, watching it on TV, or, and do you think we will crown a champion in Orlando?
Yeah, look, I hope we crown a champion. I think we all need it because COVID has just been a lot on us. But I love the play. I mean, there's a reason why Devin Booker is able to send Kendall Jenner strawberries on Instagram. Life is good. Life is good in the bubble.
Yeah,
it's fun, and I think y'all talked about Dame and what Dame is giving us. And even the Suns coming out of nowhere. Like, it's just been a special, special time. And I think well, other than our DC team, sorry, Washington Wizards fans, but they're a little short, but hey, Giannis decided to do some head bumping, and so the Wizards did make some type of impact in the bubble, I guess. But overall, I think the play has been good. I mean, I think you do see some exhaustion. I think Zion, I'm like, oh, we wanted more, but overall, I've been pleasantly pleased, and I'm just happy zero COVID cases, and that they're giving us great basketball night in and night out. And LeBron, what LeBron is doing, you can't be mad at.
Well, actually, that's where I was going with it next, Kelsey. Because me and Clarence, we disagree on how good the Lakers actually are. He even went as far as to say they are a loaded team a few shows ago. What are your expectations for the Lakers once the playoff starts?
Let me tell you, I think LeBron came there with a reason and a purpose. I know Dame said that in his post-game interview, but I would say LeBron did the same thing. He knew what he was doing when he was going to LA. We all know what happened earlier this year with the loss of Kobe Bryant. And so I think he's taking all that and turning it into, this is my time, this is my legacy, I'm only getting older. And what a time to do it than in the bubble. We see how he's gelling and meshing. You see Kyle Kuzma saying he can shoot over Jesus. Like, he's just that confident.
Yeah.
Time right now for this Lakers team. And so I think they are expecting nothing less than the best. Y'all talked about it. The Warriors are sitting at home. They're not that team anymore that anyone's worried about, in the West. And I think they're not going to feel good unless they come home as champions. And I think LeBron wants it. He has the team to support him. What AD is doing. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. If they can keep things going, I'm excited.
You think they can beat the Clippers, Kelsey, in the Western Conference Finals?
Good. Let me tell you, the Clippers are very good. But look, I want the Clippers to piss off the Lakers like they did to Dame Lillard, so we can see them just go off. Because I think that's what you saw happen. I mean, Dame was like, all right, y'all, all right. And then we saw what he turned that into.
Look, Kelsey, I told Trey they're loaded with experienced veterans and enough talent for them to make it deep into the playoff. That's why I wanted to clear up, though, because they is loaded with a lot of experience, the Lakers team, and I do got them winning the NBA Finals because I'm not betting against playoff Bron. And Trey, this in his heart, he believes the Portland Trailblazers is going to knock off the Lakers. I said, bro, LeBron hasn't never lost a first round matchup, man. You really think he's going to lose to a team that's struggling to get into the 8th seed?
Now, let me explain my position, Kelsey. Let me explain my position. See, I'm of the belief that the Lakers, they don't have enough. They are a top-heavy basketball team. You got LeBron James, obviously, 3-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP. We know what LeBron's going to bring to the table. We know Anthony Davis, his talent warrants him to be top 5 in the NBA. But after that, there is a significant drop-off. And I'm comparing them to other teams in the bubble that have perimeter shooting, have explosive players, and I believe my Portland Trailblazers have that. And Gary Trent, who's a sniper from the three-point line. Damian Lillard, we all know he's a great shooter. Carmelo Anthony, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. I think the Portland Trailblazers are going to give LeBron and the Lakers fits in the first round, and I think it's going to be a 7-game series minimal, and anything can happen in a 7-game series.
Nice. Look, you just made it real interesting. But look, I like the Trailblazers. I love what they're doing. Skinny Mellow, Bubble Mellow, whatever you want to call him. I think what he's been able to add has just been magnificent. And you guys said it. People wrote him off. What better way to come back than exactly what he's doing? He's been a perfect compliment. And it's going to be fun. But again, I don't think you can write the Lakers off. And Lakers fans will make sure you know that. But again, I think the Lakers are playing with a chip on their back after all that's been going on this year. So I think it's only right if they were able to
See, Kelsey, I thought before the NBA shutdown, the Lakers were the favorites because they were steamrolling their way into the playoffs. They had all the momentum. You remember they had beat Giannis and the Bucks Friday in LA. Then they beat the Clippers on Sunday in Staples Center. So I thought at that moment, LeBron and the Lakers were rolling. I think the layoff hurt the Lakers more than any other team in the bubble, Kelsey, because Right now, they're last in 3-point field goal percentage. They're last in overall field goal percentage. They can't shoot and they can't defend the three. I think that's a recipe for a team that can be upset in the first or second round of the playoffs. I definitely don't think they're gonna beat the Clippers. I really don't.
Clarence, you were shaking your head.
Look, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest. The Lakers don't have good guard. They don't play defense on guards. That right there is something they have to get better. And when you get a player like Rondo, that's another defensive player for that Lakers team. Like I just think this Lakers team is deep enough, and they gonna win it, Kelsey. I'm just telling him this, that the Portland Trailblazers, I gave them the benefit. I said they LA in 5, but I'm saying LA in 6 because Dame Dollar is playing on another level.
Okay, real quick, Kelsey. We got a couple quick hitters for you, real quick, before we get out of here. Anthony Davis or Giannis? Who is the better player?
Oh, I'm going Giannis.
Thank you, Kelsey.
We're going to have to bring you back on so we can argue that another show. Okay. LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan. Rank them 1 to 3 all time.
All right, I'm going MJ, LeBron, Kobe.
Thank you. You is a smart woman, Kelsey.
Okay.
Often.
You want to shout out social media?
I got one more. Hold on, Clarence. Kelsey, who is your NBA MVP?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, okay. All right. I think you have to give it to Giannis.
Thank you.
3 strikes. Oh yeah. Oh, woo.
Sorry, but Giannis is playing lights out. Giannis gives it all on the floor, and he's just incredible. And he's why the NBA has a bright future.
Last question. Who are your favorites to get to the NBA Finals, East and West, and who's going to win a championship?
Ooh, okay. So I said Lakers. The East is actually the one I'm questioning. But I'm saying the Lakers are going to win it. From the East, honestly, I don't know. I think it's a toss-up. But honestly, does it matter?
I got Milwaukee.
That win.
Yeah. Okay, Kelsey, you got any social media you want to shout out before you get out of here?
So people can follow me at The Real K Nelson on Twitter, Instagram, Real K Nelson, on Facebook, just my name, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Check out my website, kelseynicolenelson.com, and check out my podcast, Listening with K&N. Thank you all for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, Kelsey, we definitely want to bring you back on because I have some NBA I want to challenge you on. So we definitely want to bring you back on.
Let's do it. I'm all for it. Let's do it. Long as you're nice to the Wizards, I will come back on because they've had enough hurt.
Oh, they ain't gonna talk about Wizards.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for joining us on Wise Guys on the Worldwide Sports Network. We're definitely going to be in touch with you about bringing you on again. You have a great night.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.